Yo, what's good, everybody? Yo, I want to get on this topic real quick, man. Errol Spence Jr. wishes to fight the best welterweights, including Terrence Crawford. But yo, man, this is Mike Biggs Boxing coming at you with another video, man. Hit that like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to receive notification to when I drop this heat. Show, man, I was on ESPN.com, man, just browsing through, man, see if something catch my eye, and this article came up, man, by Myron Metcalf. Okay, and it goes on saying after Terrence Bud Crawford scored a ninth round knockout of Jeff Horn on Saturday night in Las Vegas, he stuck his tongue out and smiled at the crowd. Then the new WBO welterweight champion flexed and stood on the ropes at the MGM Grand Arena as Michael Buffer yelled, "Terrence Crawford." Rapper Rick Ross stood behind him in the ring. Boxer's Prince has arrived. Errol Spence Jr., the IBF undefeated 147-pound champ, who will fight undefeated Carlos Ocampo this Saturday on Showtime, acknowledged his adversary's achievement with a simple tweet and an emoji. A 2012 Olympian, Spence is often more subdued than his colleagues in the welterweight division. The mellow Texan tries to avoid vain pre-fight antics and trash talk. Yet, he told ESPN.com he respects Keith Thurman, the undefeated WBA welterweight champion, but doubts Thurman can match his grit and hunger. And Crawford, well, he's crafty, he's a switch hitter, he can box, he can move, said Spence, who will fight Ocampo in Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas, the training facility for the Dallas Cowboys. For me, I just feel like I'm bigger, I'm stronger, and I'm just as sharp. I have a better chin, I hit harder. I'd basically beat him up. If Bob Arum, Crawford's promoter, and Al Heyman, Spence's manager, can negotiate a deal, then Crawford Spence, assuming the latter gets a win over on Saturday and avoids major damage, could end 2018 with one of the biggest fights of the year. The winner could become the face of boxing, a post vacated when Floyd Mayweather retired. This is the most exciting and competitive chapter for the 147-pound division since Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Tito Trinidad, and Pernell Whitaker all tussled for the crown in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Crawford's move to welterweight boosted a division anchored by Spence, Thurman, and Sean Porter before his arrival. Plus, Amir Khan returned to the division after a knockout loss to Canelo Alvarez. Danny Garcia remains a formidable opponent, and lightweight star Mikey Garcia, who won a 140-pound belt early this year, could make the jump in the future. And don't forget about Manny Pacquiao, who's fighting for the WBA regular welterweight title against Lucas Matisse on July 14th. And could be a future opponent for Crawford if he wins, which that's not going to happen. But Spence expects to emerge from the heap with all of the titles and the glory attached to them. "I'm from the old school where I want to fight the best," he said. "I want to reign supreme over all of them. I'm willing to fight all them to prove all of that." Is he too nice to represent the polarizing sport, though? Spence reserves all of his flash for the ring. His Instagram account is filled with boxing photos, pictures of his dogs, and more boxing photos. No supermodels, no Rolexes, no images of him wearing Rolexes while standing next to a supermodel, like so many of boxing's icons who have always thrived on charisma and flair. Jack Johnson wore expensive suits and bow ties. Muhammad Ali convinced an entire country to hate George Foreman. Sugar Ray Leonard boxed, talked and smiled his way onto Wheatie boxes. Mike Tyson scared the shit out of his rivals and partied like a rock star, while Mayweather combined components of them all to build a 9-figure empire. But Spence has no plans to change in hopes of elevating his profile. It's no strategy, he said about his relaxed demeanor. It's just my character naturally. I don't really talk that much. It's just who I am. I just do it all in the ring. There's no need to talk. I'm not the guy who rambles. Kell Brook promised to feed Spence chocolate brownies, the nickname for his hands, when they met in England last year for Brook's IBF welterweight title. After a rough start, Spence's body shots began to soften Brook, who could not continue after suffering a broken eye socket. Talking only works for so many guys, Spence said. That worked for Floyd, but Floyd has been in the game for 20 years plus. It's how it has always been for Spence, who grew up dreaming of an NFL career with the Dallas Cowboys. He was born in Long Island, New York, but moved to Dallas when he was 2 years old. His first fight unfolded on a routine walk home, a simple scrap with another kid who challenged him. He didn't like to fight then. In middle school, however, he successfully tested himself against older fighters at a boxing gym. Then he realized he had a brighter future in the squared circle than on the gridiron with Jerry Jones' franchise. Amateur titles followed, and a trip to the 2012 Olympics in London. It did not take long for Spence to make his mark once he turned pro. Nathan Butcher still remembers the thump of Spence's left hook. 5 years ago, a promoter called the West Virginia boxer a few days before Spence's third professional bout and asked him to fill in for the original opponent who dropped out. Butcher, who knew of Spence's Olympic pedigree, lasted 53 seconds after a left hook nearly knocked his floppy red hair off his scalp in the 2013 fight that aired on Showtime. Butcher told ESPN.com about the punch set up with a brutal body shot, a different kind of hit. Spence's power had never relented. He's KO'd 20 of his first 23 opponents. Phil DeGreco suffered a third-round knockout. TKO loss to Spence in 2015. He says Spence's patience and power surprised him. He's a strategic fighter, LaGreco said, but he'll brawl if he has to. He don't mind getting hit because he knows he can give it, said LaGreco, who has also faced contenders Amir Khan and Sean Porter. He's a special talent. He has a lot of endurance, and he'll beat the shit out of everybody. Spence's win over Brook last year proved as much and solidified his standing in the division. He was in England, Brook's turf, and he won. He was down 3-2 after 5 rounds on 2 judges' scorecards. A third judge, Alejandro Lopez, scored 4 of the first 5 rounds in Brook's favor, but then his deep body punches interrupted Brook's rhythm in the late rounds, and Spence, a southpaw, continued to throw decapitating right hooks. The flurry persisted until Brook kneeled in submission due to an eye injury Spence had caused. Also, them body shots did some damage too. I always thought Errol was one of the better prospects in boxing, said Paulie Malignaggi, a former 2-division world title holder and Showtime contender. Obviously, we all knew he was a heavy-handed puncher. What the Kell Brook fight showed is he had ice in his veins. He showed the poise of a veteran. Ocampo seemed both hungry and humbled by his opportunity against Spence this weekend. My goal is to fight a smart fight, he said, per Showtime's press release on the fight. Spence is a great fighter, so I know it will take the best performance of my career. I think it's going to be a war, and I plan to come out with my hand raised and the belt around my waist. Not long ago, Spence had the same attitude and drive, but a win over Ocampo could lead to a super fight with Crawford or another 140-pound contender. Spence anticipates more accolades and honors. To get there, he plans to punch, not talk, his way into the next chapter of his career, the way it has always been, the way he likes it. I can be a soft-spoken guy, talk nice to a guy, and then 2 seconds later, I can talk to a guy in the ring, and then as soon as the bell rings, I'm on you, he said. It's not really a transformation. I don't gotta be angry or hate the person to get my win or get my W or stop my opponent. Yo. Well said, Mr. Spence. Well said. You know what I'm saying? This article is spot on, man. Good job, brother. Good job, man. I'm glad I ran across this article because, man, you know, everybody's talking about, you know, Spence being this big old hype job, and he hasn't fought anybody. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a resume is just a resume, man. A fight is a fight. You know what I'm saying? People say that they haven't seen all of Spence's, you know, accolades and shit like that. And, you know, saying no one's seen the dog come out of Spence. But, man, we seen the dog come out of him when he fought Kell Brook. And he beat the living crap out of him. You know what I'm saying? Even Brook said it, man. Spence hit Spence hit hard. And then, you know, his sparring partners in the Charlos, man, they said, man, he got good head movement and he hit like a goddamn heavyweight. So I just don't know, man. Maybe because they stablemates and, you know, they friends or they, you know, confidants or whatever, you know what I'm saying, he trying to hype up Spence or whatever. But I don't think so, man. I done seen footage on Spence, you know what I'm saying, sparring with people, and it ain't no pretty sight, man. Spence is a dog, whether he's sparring or in that ring, doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, having said that, man, there will be a super fight between Spence and Crawford. And I guess as fans, man, we ain't gonna tolerate having to wait to see it like we did with the Pacquiao and Mayweather fight. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't think Spence want to wait that long to see, you know what I'm saying, if he can beat somebody. You know what I'm saying? If he know he can beat you, he going to fight you right away. You know what I'm saying? It's up to the guy to answer the phone, though. You feel me? You know, Spence, you know what I'm saying, Spence could just do so much, man. He ain't gonna talk you into a fight, man. He's just going to be like, yo, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to fight you. What do you want to do? Let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It remains to be seen. But I'm telling you guys, don't miss this fight this Saturday, June 16th. It's going to be spectacular. It might be kind of fast. So don't blink. Because to me, Spence is the real body snatcher. He's bodying everybody, man. That's why nobody want to fight this dude. That's why nobody really want to fight him, man. Oh, man. Had to cut it short, man. It was a longer joint, man. But YouTube was only limited to me 15 minutes, so holla at your boy, man. MikeBiggzBoxing. Like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to receive notification when I drop this heat. Peace.